Okay, you got to hear this. Your phone knows exactly where you are, right now, down to the street corner. And it can do it with zero Wi-Fi, zero cell service, absolutely nothing. It's basically magic, except it's not. It is one of the coolest, most mind-bending stories in all of science.
And you use this magic every single day without even thinking about it. Finding your car in that massive parking lot. Getting food delivered right to your doorstep. Or, yeah, even catching that little monster hiding around the block. It just works.
But here's the first thing that should blow your mind. It works completely offline. I mean, think about that. You could be in the middle of nowhere, no bars, no signal, and that little blue dot on your map will still follow you perfectly. This is where the story gets really interesting.
Seriously, how is that even possible? It feels like it breaks all the rules of tech. Well, buckle up, because the answer involves a team of satellites, the actual speed of light, and a secret ingredient from Albert Einstein himself.
So, the whole thing starts not down here on Earth, but way, way up in space, with this giant invisible net of satellites wrapped around our planet.
Okay, I want you to picture 31 giant lighthouses in the sky. All day, every day, they are just screaming two simple things into the void. Here's my exact position, and here's the exact time I sent this message, down to a billionth of a second. Your phone, down on Earth, hears these screams. And by timing how long it took for each signal to reach it, your phone can figure out how far away it is from each one of those lighthouses. Then, it uses this beautifully simple geometric trick called trilateration to pinpoint you.
So here's how that works. One satellite signal just tells your phone, hey, you're somewhere on this giant imaginary ball. Okay, not super helpful. But a second signal creates another ball, and where those two overlap, you get a perfect circle of places you could be. We're getting warmer, and then, bam! That third satellite hits, where all three of those spheres cross at a single point. That's you.
So boom, right? 3 signals, 1 precise location on the map. Problem solved. We can all go home. Except, no, not even close. Because there is a massive, massive flaw in this plan that we haven't talked about yet. This is where the story gets wild. See, that whole distance calculation, it depends on one thing being absolutely perfect, the timing. And our phones are, well, anything but perfect. The clocks on those GPS satellites are atomic clocks. They are these incredible multi-million-dollar pieces of physics accurate to within a billionth of a second. The clock in your phone, it's a tiny piece of quartz that costs like a few cents. It's fine for telling you when to wake up, but compared to an atomic clock, it's a total disaster.
And here's why that's a huge deal. The satellite signals are traveling at the speed of light. That means if your phone's clock is off by just a microsecond, a millionth of a second, the distance calculation is off by hundreds of meters. The whole system would be totally useless.
And this is the secret job of the fourth satellite. Your phone listens to a fourth satellite signal, not just for location, but as a way to check its math. It lets your phone solve for latitude, longitude, altitude, and the correct time. That fourth signal basically syncs your cheap little phone clock with the superbrain atomic clocks in space. Isn't that insane? Okay, so we solved the time problem. We're good, right? Nope. The universe still has a few more curveballs for us. Turns out the trip that little radio signal takes from space is actually pretty dangerous.
I mean, you've got the Earth's atmosphere, which can bend the signal. In a big city, signals can bounce off buildings, creating echoes. Even those fancy atomic clocks can drift a little. And engineers are working constantly to fix all of this. But all of those problems are nothing, absolutely nothing, compared to the real problem.
So here it is. The biggest, wildest, most wait, what problem of all is that for the satellites orbiting Earth, time itself is literally ticking at a different speed than it is for you and me down here. And that's not a mistake. It's a fundamental rule of how the universe works.
And to understand this, we need to bring in a guy you probably didn't expect to see today, Albert Einstein and his wild theories of relativity. So why on Earth, or, off of Earth, would this even happen? Why would a clock in space run differently than the exact same clock on the ground? Well, it comes down to 2 really weird cosmic effects. First up, Einstein's special relativity. Basically, it says the faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. And those GPS satellites are absolutely flying. They're whipping around the planet at almost 14,000 kilometers an hour. That speed makes their clocks tick just a tiny bit slower than ours.
But then you've got general relativity. This theory says that gravity actually bends and warps time itself.
The weaker the gravity, the faster time flows. And since the satellites are so far away from Earth, they feel a lot less gravity than we do. This effect makes their clocks tick way, way faster than ours.
So you have these two effects from Einstein's theories in a cosmic tug-of-war. One is slowing time down, the other is speeding it up. And get this, if the GPS engineers didn't account for these two effects, the location on your phone would drift by about 10 kilometers every single day. Your map would be useless in a matter of hours.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The experts like physicist N. Ashby have said that these effects are so huge that if we didn't correct for them, the entire GPS system just wouldn't work, period.
So let's bring this all back down to Earth. Every single time you open a map app, you are watching Einstein's theories of relativity in action, right there in your hand.
It's this amazing balancing act. The slowing down from the satellite's speed is there, for sure, but the speeding up from weaker gravity is a much stronger effect. The end result is that the satellite clocks run ahead by about 38 microseconds every day. So engineers on the ground have to constantly beam up a correction, every second of every day, to account for Einstein and keep your map accurate.
So the next time you use your phone to find your way somewhere, just take a second and think about how bonkers it all is. You've got a fleet of atomic clocks in space, whispering to your phone, being constantly fine-tuned to account for the fabric of space-time itself, all so you can get that pizza delivered hot. So yeah, you can thank Einstein for that.